Today I will be presenting in front of you a report that we have published from the lab, and we will discuss how the combined stresses can have a severe impact on the plant and the plant pathogen interactions. So as we all know that plants in the field they're often exposed to a multitude of simultaneously occurring stresses in nature. These stresses can be abiotic stresses or the biotic stresses. A lot of studies have only focused on the one-dimensional aspect, as in the one-to-one interaction of the host and the pathogen or the host in the drought. However, we all know that presence of one stress can affect or influence the plant's response to the another stress. In this case, as you can see, for a plant disease to occur, you need a host plant, a plant that can get sick. Then you need a pathogen. It should be a virulent pathogen that can overcome plant defenses. However, this is not the only requirement. You also need a conducive environment that favors the pathogen and allows the disease to happen. The presence of this abiotic stress factor can further influence the outcome of plant pathogen interaction, and it can happen in both ways. Like it can enhance the susceptibility of the plant towards the pathogen, or it can enhance the resistance of the plant towards the pathogen. And this depends upon the timing, severity, and the duration of the two stresses, and also the plant and the pathogen species. In our lab, we are focusing on Arabidopsis thaliana and its interaction with the bacterial pathogen Pseudomonas syringae. This plant pathogen system is well documented in the literature. So we have decided to understand how this plant pathogen interaction can be influenced by another abiotic stress factor, which is drought. Majority of the combined stress studies that have been undertaken they've used host bacteria. However, the use of host bacteria poses few limitations. This host bacteria has the ability to evade and overcome the defense machinery of the plant, and it eventually results in the plant death. So it gives a very short window for the to understand to undertake the drought experiments that can often to undertake long-term drought experiments. Also, because the virulent strategy of this bacteria involves effector mediated changes in the plant defense machinery. So under combined stress, it becomes difficult to differentiate what are the expression changes that are mediated by the effector, and what are the changes that are mediated by the plant in defense against the combined stress. And although the studies involving combined drought and host pathogen, they have provided important insights and leads into how plant responds to the combined stress. There's another plant defense strategy that has been left untouched, which is non-host resistance. This non-host resistance is a multi-gene trait as opposed to the host resistance, which is mainly controlled by single R gene. As host resistance is controlled by only one gene, it is easier for the relatively easier for the pathogen to mutate and overcome this host resistance. And however, the non-host resistance is governed by multi-gene. It's a multi-gene trait, and it governs multiple layer of defenses. So it is more durable and it's a more robust form of resistance in the plant. And because it allows the plant to defend itself from a diverse array of potential pathogen, it's a broad spectrum resistance mechanism. And so there are preformed barriers that are involved here, like cell wall, cuticle, photoanticipin mediated defenses, and there are also several defense responses that are induced upon the attack from the bacteria, such as lignin accumulation, production of antimicrobials like phytoalexins, HR response, and induction of PR proteins. Despite it being such an important resistance mechanism of the plant, no studies have examined how drought may potentially influence this broad spectrum non-host resistance. So in our study, we decided to identify what are the transcriptomic changes a plant undergoes under combined drought and non-host bacterial stress. And so for this, the non-host bacterial pathogen that we have used is Pseudomonas syringae, Pathovar tabaci. It's for this bacterial species, Arabidopsis thaliana is a non-host. So these were the stress treatments in our experiment, where a group of plants were kept in the well-watered condition throughout the experiments, and we called it absolute control. For drought experiments, 32-day-old plants were subjected to water withholding, and they were allowed to lose water and till the soil moisture status reached to 40% field capacity. There was another batch of plants that were kept in well-watered condition, and on 37th day, we simply syringe infiltrated the plants with sterile water. These were the mock plants. In another batch of plants, these batch of plants were kept in well-watered condition, and on 37th day, the plants were syringe infiltrated with the non-host bacteria. In the combined stress treatment, the 32-day-old plants were subjected to water withholding, and when the plants reached that 40% field capacity, the plants were syringe infiltrated with the bacteria. So all the physiological and the transcriptomic experiments that were undertaken, they were undertaken at 24 hours post-inoculation. So to show you the morphophysiological response, here we have used three concentrations of the bacteria. At lower concentration, you can see that you do not see any major change in the plant's physiological response to this bacteria. However, at the higher concentrations, as you can see here, you can see that the plants subjected to non-host, they show HR symptoms. This HR or the hypersensitive response is a very well-established hallmark of the non-host resistance. Plant triggers a rapid and a localized cell death at the site of infection and this restricts the pathogen spread to the uninfected parts. So you can see that in the presence of the drought, this HR response has is enhanced drastically in the presence of drought. This is also visible in the electrolyte leakage content. You can see that the ion leakage is much higher in case of the combined stress as compared to the non-host plant or the drought alone plant. So what we saw is that upon combined stress, we saw an early and a comparatively more robust hypersensitive response in the combined stress plants. To further explain what is the molecular basis of this robust defense response that we have observed under combined stress, we carried out a whole genome transcriptomic analysis in the combined stress plants and compared it with the transcriptome under single stresses. So for this, we collected the samples after 24 hours and we carried out a microarray and analyzed the samples via GeneSpring. So this is how the comparison was made. The drought samples were compared with the absolute control plants, and the non-host and the combined stress plants were compared with the mock samples. So the differentially expressed genes were identified using a cutoff p-value of 0.05 and the fold change of above 2. So what we found is that the transcriptome of the plant under combined stress showed the highest number of genes that were differentially expressed. You can see that like almost 969 genes per almost showed up specifically under combined stress. So we validated it using the semi-Q PCR of of a few genes, and we identified that the this 969 genes and this novel modulation of the transcriptome under combined stress can only be seen when we actually do combined stress studies, and we would have lost this genes if you just uh, try and compare the individual transcriptomes that have been undertaken under individual stresses. Interestingly, we also found that even though these are the gene expression changes of these 35 genes, which are commonly modulated by all the three stresses. So we can see here that the drought is oppositely acting with the non-host defense pathways and the combined stress pathways. However, the response under combined stress is very much similar to the response to the non-host pathogen alone. As we all know that the development of HR, it involves a cascade of signaling events, and it involves induction of defense related genes and induction of genes that are involved in production of ROS and which results in the oxidative burst. So we found that these are some of the biological processes that were highly enriched under in the DNH specific manner. So some of these processes were response to defense, oxidative stress, and the cell death. So these are the highly enriched biological processes under combined stress. We also found that there are a lot of important salicylic acid mediating salicylic acid defense genes and other genes that take part in the defense against bacteria that are upregulated under combined stress. Similarly, we also found that in the DNA, in the combined stress, we found an upregulation of several ROS producing, ROS scavenging, and other oxidative stress responsive genes. Interestingly, most of the genes we found from the literature that they were involved in regulating both the drought and the bacterial defense responses. There was also an upregulation of genes that were involved in the production of phytoalexins, lignin, polyamines that play a protective role under stress condition. There was also an upregulation of genes that protects the plant against oxidative stress or against the and prevents the runaway ROS production in the plant. We used MapMan and we checked the expression of certain stress pathway genes, and we found that both the number and the induction of these stress responsive genes was extremely higher under combined stress as compared to both the individual stresses here. Similarly, in terms of secondary metabolites that play an important role in drought as well as bacterial stress, we found a substantial increase in the diversity as well as the number of secondary metabolites that are induced under combined stress. As you can see here, there are several secondary metabolites that are induced only under combined stress. For example, the non-mevalonate pathway and the carotenoid pathway genes, they were specifically seen under combined stress. Similarly, we found that receptor-like kinases, though they do not show up under drought, we found a major increase in the diversity as well as the number of these receptor-like kinases under combined stress. These receptor-like kinases form an important part in the defense against bacteria, and their induction was higher under combined stress. Overall, what we found in our study is that the simultaneous exposure to drought and non-host bacteria, it resulted in an early activation and of a stronger hyposensitive response under combined stress. So when we did a whole genome transcriptomic profiling, we found that a massive transcriptional reprogramming takes place under combined stress, and several transcripts specifically respond to the stress combination. Further, we found a significant increase in the number and expression of genes which are related to ROS, which are related to HR in the basal defense signaling mechanism pathways and the secondary metabolism and receptor-like kinases under combined stress. So in conclusion, we found that the parallel activation of multiple defense pathway was a major reason for the robustness of the plant immunity that we saw under combined stress. A majority of the genes that were induced in combined stress, they were responsive to both drought and non-host bacteria. It indicates that this is a plant's adaptation to efficiently utilize its limited resources when it's exposed to two stresses at the same time. Also, the response of the plant seen under combined stress was dramatically distinct from the response to the single stress. And so this necessitates that the actual combined stress studies are undertaken to understand how the presence of two stresses can impact the plant.